how has having this like changed your lifestyle?
It's a time machine.
I don't hear it.
And time is energy, and so it's a great multiplier.
Were you always doing trading like all along, or was it something you got into more recently?
No, I was in the Navy as a nuclear engineer, and then I got out and got into finance, and then I wanted to learn about money, and I got my MBA, and so I learned engineering side of things and the finance side of things.
Yeah.
And so got into power marketing. I trade the most volatile markets in the world.
I'm undefeated, never lost.
Hey, my friend, welcome back to another video. So glad to have you. If you're new to my channel and you're unfamiliar about who I am, my name is Adam C. Scott. I'm a Navy veteran turned entrepreneur. And if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications so that way you get notified whenever I drop a video or reaction to videos like this. So today's reaction is to a private jet billionaire who used to be a nuke in the Navy, talking about what he did to build his wealth. Now, I'm going to do a part 2 to this because the first part of this clip, I kind of want to talk a little bit about, why it's so important to make the decision to leave, even if, you're offered what he was offered to stay in, and what that can do for you. Because granted, a lot of people don't want to leave the comfort of the 1st and 15th and TRICARE Prime and all the things that come with being in the military. But I can tell you and I can assure you that life outside of the military is splendid. It's phenomenal. So long as you plan your life, your civilian life, accordingly while you're still in, like this gentleman did. So I'm going to get into the clip. I'm going to give you some thoughts throughout. And then, of course, at the end, I'll share with you, some tips and some strategies that you can use to really, take yourself to the next level if you are going the entrepreneurship route. So let's get into the clip and look forward to giving you some thoughts throughout this clip.
Recall when you felt like you made it financially, that you felt more comfortable? Or like, yeah.
I've always felt comfortable. I was making good money in the Navy, making $40,000 a year, but I was going to sea half the time, so I couldn't really spend any money, so I'd actually put most of it in the stock market, which was doubling and tripling at the time. So I did really well there and gave myself the opportunity to get out of the Navy without having to depend on, re-enlisting and taking all the extra money they throw at you to stay in. So I realized very quickly that was the value of my happiness. They would have offered me a $100,000 reenlistment bonus to stay in. It wasn't worth my happiness. When I realized that I put a value on my happiness and it had a dollar number, I was like, okay, that's the number. A few years later, it might have been a bigger number. I'd be like, no way. You have to pay me $1 million to do that again. Now it would be like, how much would you have to pay me to do that again? You have to pay me $1 billion to do that again. You want to take 6 years of my time? It's worth more than $1 billion. Easily.
I'm gonna do a part 2 to this. The first thing that he mentioned about that I want to touch on a little bit is what you do with your money while you're still in, right? So let's just back up for a second. He made mention that because he was out to sea half the time that he was in, for those of you that aren't in the Navy, you don't know what that is. It's just our deployment. Is we don't go out on land. We go out to sea. And it's usually anywhere between 7 to 10 months at a time. And when you are out to sea, if you don't have a family, you don't have kids, you more than likely are going to move out your place and put it in storage, and you're just going to stack your paper. Right? The only bill that you might have is like maybe some credit card bills, some debt. I'm gonna be honest with you. Deployment is the best way to stack your money. Like he just said, deployment is literally the best way to stack your paper. And if you set yourself up right, when you go out on deployment, you're not spending money recklessly because you just got it. You're responsible. And so the reason why I want to touch on that first is because a lot of us service members, we are financially illiterate. I know when I was in the Navy, we had a what we call it command financial specialist. There it is. Command financial specialist that would sit down and do a budget. But it was very vague. Let's be honest. Your parents, right? School system and the military does not do a good job of teaching you about money. They don't teach you about the values of money. Most people don't know about the rule of 72. Most people don't know, what a high yield savings account is. Like, most people don't know what a mutual fund is, and we're not taught this stuff. Our parents don't teach this to us. The school system doesn't teach this to us, and your command financial specialist isn't teaching it to you. So, like he said, he educated himself on the stock market, got very, very good, and as he was in and going out to sea, he was putting his money in stocks, which it was doubling and tripling at the time. Now, what I would recommend you do, if you are a service member, right, whether you're Navy, Army, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force, right, Space Force now, you need to sit down and go talk to a financial specialist, right? Now, I'm not talking about some insurance guy trying to sell you a whole life or a term life policy. I'm talking about somebody that actually understands the market. And if I were you, if you don't want to get too involved with investing, maybe you want to do something a little bit more safer, something that isn't, so risky. The best bet would be to put your money in the S&P 500. And that's just from my own advice, because I put my money there and it's done great. Even Warren Buffett talks about putting your money in the S&P 500. So that's the first thing he talked about. Being financially literate when you're out to sea means that you're setting aside your money for your future getaway, your future, getaway escape, right? If you don't see yourself doing, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years in the military, you got to, take those 4, 6, or 8 year, enlistments and do the most with it by putting your money in places where it's working harder for you than you working hard for it. Okay. The second thing that he touched on that was so profound, so powerful is this: the price of your happiness. Let me ask you a question, just a real question here. What is the price of your happiness? What is the price of your peace of mind? What is the price of your sanity, right? Because chances are that reenlistment check is going to be astronomical. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that a lot of the service members are being offered just insane reenlistment bonuses because the enlistment and the retaining crisis that the military is experiencing is causing them to be like, all right, we got to throw everything at the wall hoping something sticks. And so, like he said, he was offered $100,000 for another 4 to 6 years. And as a nuke, that's typically what you're going to get. But he said no to it. How many people would do that? How many people would say no to a $100,000 reenlistment bonus for another 4 to 6 years, guaranteed on top of a paycheck every 1st and 15th with TRICARE Prime and so on and so forth? The people that say no to it is the people that understand their self-worth, their self-value, and most importantly, their peace of mind. Because there's no price, right, that somebody is not willing to pay for their peace of mind and their sanity. And that price goes up over time. As you get older, that price goes up. As you learn more, the price goes up. As you study more, as you read more, as you understand more, that price of your peace of mind, it goes up. And so as he just said, and as he just stated, you could easily say yes to that, or like he said, no, I'm getting out. And if you notice, he said toward the end that it would cost him $1 billion. 6 years of his time to do it all over again would be $1 billion. And of course, the military doesn't even have that money to offer him. But just imagine if that was your mindset. Like, how much is my peace of mind worth? How much is my happiness worth? How much is my self-worth worth? And if you get in the habit of thinking like that, you won't be swindled into a reenlistment bonus because you understand and you value yourself more than what they're offering you. And this is no shade to somebody that, signed a reenlistment bonus of any amount. It just goes to show you that there's a life, right? There's a life beyond the military. And I can almost assure you, the sooner you take the leap of faith to not just leave the military, but to just increase your self-worth, you'll be so much more happier, right? Because happiness is about doing what you're called to do. It's about fulfilling your God-given purpose. And it seems to me like this person that Noah is interviewing he's fulfilling his God-given purpose. He has his own private jet, right? So this is just part one of the clip. And I wanted to go into this because it's so important that service members get this kind of information and be inspired, right? This is an inspiration to see somebody that used to be in the service like we are, and to see him on a private jet and being able to interview this gentleman. I mean, it's awesome. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want to just thank you for supporting the channel and really, allowing me to share with you some thoughts in a clip that I believe will inspire you. And if you're new to my channel, I would love if you just hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notifications so that way you get notified whenever I drop a new video. I got some new videos here, or maybe both here. So check those out, and I will catch you in the next video.